Welcome to another episode of Financial Fitness. This episode is brought to you by the Old Fashioned Health Network, Good Health Inside and Out. Guys, Keela and I have been, again, working diligently on this journey, coming in, being able to go over not just business planning, business credit, personal lines of credit, personal credit. We're hitting it on all cylinders in all scenarios. However, there's a topic that, as Keela and I were talking last night, we really wanted to tie it into what's going on with the PPP and the SBA and really figure out how we can shrink the wealth gap, if you will, that's been caused by so much, basically, people taking advantage of things that we're just going to be talking about today. So, Keela, one of the things that we talked about immediately after discussing business credit, personal credit, kind of how people get along those lines, I really wanted to hit home on this topic here with it being how minorities are affected by the wealth gap. Would you want to go ahead introduce that topic a little bit? Because like we said, this was your kind of your area of expertise.
Hello, everyone. Just hopping in here. It really is a passion of mine because for so long, I don't want to say that we've been misled. However, there has been a disconnect, and it's because we, as far as minorities we're so used to getting turned down or not having enough or not being able to meet all of the criteria that's needed or what we think is actually needed. Therefore, we shy away from doing some of the most essential and pertinent things that add to not only the value but the success of our business as minority business owner and small business owner. One thing that I have noticed during the whole pandemic in regards to the PPP and with the SBA, it is literally catering to the small business owners, in which they have, as we all know, small businesses have taken a hard hit during this pandemic. And it makes you question, it makes you go, like, how in the world can they have a product catered towards the small businesses? However, small businesses are literally having to set up shop, close down, aren't being able to make it. And it all goes back to our business models as small businesses, our business plan, how making sure that we have, it's always that thing where, we operate from a mom and pop perspective because that's all really that's been afforded to us. It's what we think has been afforded to us because oftentimes we're not so much in the know of all those products and services that are out there to actually aid us and help us get on the scale of some of the big businesses. So, again, we shy away from it. But what I found out during this pandemic and with the PPPs is that we really have to go back to that foundational piece of restructuring our business. And that's going to start with some of the small things, like making sure we have a business checking account, making sure we are allocating those finances that income that we're making or that's coming in from the business, making sure that we're allocating those and making sure that we're putting it back into our business. Oftentimes, I know plenty of people that have operated from one bank account, that's personal and business. And this is something that a term that we all know and maybe have heard where business and personal just don't mix. And this is one of those situations where business and personal just does not mix. And if the time has never shown, the time has shown it now. With the PPP, a lot of people weren't really able, small businesses were not able to really take advantage of it in a way that it was going to really help their business either stay afloat or come back from the whole crisis or the pandemic or what have you. So, and that's simply because they weren't doing one thing, and that's filing taxes on their business. And that all goes back to the business, your business plan and your business model. Like, making sure that you have set those foundational pieces and put those pieces in place. However, the good thing about it is, even though a lot of businesses have not done that. Small businesses and minorities have not taken advantage of that or hadn't done those things. Now is the time for them to do it. They still have time to do those things. And it's simple things. Like last night we talked about, how most people go towards the LLC route when they're establishing their business. And it's so easy to say, okay, well, I own ABC LLC. But a lot of people don't know exactly what that means and how what that actually breaks down. Is just one of the most common businesses types or entity types that businesses operate from. But creating that LLC, that limited liability company, that DBA or partnership. And another thing we talked about last night was making sure that we do something that is so simple and so easy and free, and that is registering your business with the state getting an EIN number. For some reason, and I know why why most businesses don't, well, people are like, well, you don't have to necessarily have an EIN number to operate as a business. And it's absolutely true. You don't have to necessarily have an EIN number. But in order to take full advantage of all of the resources that are out there and that are put in place to help you as a small business, as a minority business, you have to have that business structure set up as a business.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. And I really wanted to kind of hone back in on what you were talking about with, the EIN number. I think it's extremely important, especially what we deal with every single day at work with opening up LLCs, corporations, sole proprietorships. People need to establish what they are when they get these EIN numbers. Are you going to be a sole prop? If that's the case, you either have the name you have the name of your business as your name, or doing business as, in Georgia, your name has to be incorporated somewhere inside of the business in order to be considered a sole proprietorship. LLC, we know what it takes to get that. You set up, it's a legal liability company, limited liability company, and there are benefits in that as well, both on the a lot of sides of businesses, and then again, corporations. You're separating things from your tax preparer number. And when you start doing that, you kind of can start seeing the benefits that businesses actually receive when they do tax credits and tax benefits. One of the things that I think is super key, is important as well, is knowing the rule of thumb to put aside for tax savings and tax revenue. Most of the time, it's 33% of your total sales. If you're putting 33% away for your total sales, whether you actually end up having to owe, the max is 33% that you can be taxed. And we'll have that in the show notes down there for people. The max is 33% you can be taxed per year on your business. Now, we, again, mentioned tax credits such as adding on an employee, having health care. Those are dependent. But back to that small business aspect of what we said, things happening, we ran into a lot of situations where people just either were not prepared, not understanding, and they got in a situation where we saw day to day how these small businesses really took an impact. And, just to level on that, we got affected. People in our community got affected. And now it's the second time around. You have till March 31st. It's important to know that this is the most important thing to get situated and get going. With that being said, with that being said, we said, where do you want to, when we were talking about opening up a business account, getting people started on influencing the business credit card, or is it going to be beneficial for me to do this? So first of all, I think one of the things, and we didn't get to talk about the DUNS number as well when people get set up with that, how important it is. A lot of people, when it comes to establishing business credit, that is a certain way. A DUNS number also helps you get government contracts for businesses, for people who may be aware of that. So when you get established and you want to build business credit, the DUNS number comes into play. However, most businesses, after at least 2 years and with valid tax returns, can apply for a credit card. And I'm going to let you kind of talk about that as well, because I've seen products of businesses coming in. I told you last night, like, businesses just need to spend $500 a month, and it waived all service charges. most businesses are
Right.
spending that in a month or two.
Right. So basically, one thing in my research, what I've been learning is that, again, it's all a misconception. Most people believe that you have to have X amount of dollars to start up your business credit, and that's not necessarily true because companies like Chase and American Express, they know businesses starting out. You're not gonna just have a ton of money. However, a good way to establishing good business credit is making sure that you have had your personal credit. Make sure that your personal credit is in good standing. And it's kind of confusing when you think about if you think about it all collectively. When you think of business credit, your business credit report versus your personal credit report. The good thing about establishing that good business credit is that places like Chase and American Express, they do not report on your personal, credit report, which is a good thing. Oftentimes it goes all back to that misconception of having to have like a six-figure business in order to have good collateral or something like that in order for you to get that or create that business line of credit, and that's just not necessarily true. Most companies know that starting out small businesses, you're not just going to be making six figures. So that's when you want to just make sure either understanding that having a solid and a good personal credit score aids you in creating that business line of credit. And what it is because we as banks, we like to look at your credit risk and the tolerance level of how much of a risk that we're going to take as far as extending you credit. If you can show good personal financial statements, good personal financial record with a good credit score, then you're more than likely going to be able to get some type of business line of credit extended to you. I was speaking in terms of, okay, I have a good personal financial record. My credit scores are good. However, I have not been quite operating for the last 24 months. So here, I was just giving some ideas of what you could do. I was speaking in terms of, as entrepreneurs, we know we have to be creative and we have to think outside of the box. Well, if you know you're offering a specific type of service and your business is essentially going good, however, you just don't have that time under your belt of operations. However, you may have another business that you've heard of or know that is operating and offering a service that you essentially offer. That's when you want to think in terms of acquisition. Maybe I can acquire this business, buy this business out, acquire the EIN number. Therefore, that's going to give you the tenure you need to get that business line of credit established or extended to you. Those are some things that, those are just some things just right off top of my head that I can think of. Also, as we know, whenever you're online or trying to apply for that line of credit, just say you want to apply for a business credit card and you were to get denied. Well, we know that system, we know that basically we're just talking to a computer or some type of robot per se, that we're inputting our information, and they are that robot, and I'm just using this term loosely, is programmed to either approve you or deny you based on a set of standards or qualifications. So they have this thing called the reconsideration hotline. You get to speak with a live person when you contact their reconsideration hotline. And there you can actually, speak with someone, let someone know, give them the details of your business, and just maybe then you may be able to get some type of credit extended to you. It may not be as much as you wanted or as much as you were hoping for, but they may be able to help you. And that's the good thing about, trying to It's trying to just starting. It's all about having that mindset to start. But in order for you to start, you have to make sure you have your ducks in a row.
Agreed.
As minority business owners and small business owners, we have operated just where, honestly, where we feel like or where we have been led to believe as far as we can go. We can never cross that line. But the pandemic has shown us that if we do what we need to do as small businesses, it's going to put the pressure on the bank to do what they are supposed to do. Why? In order for us to, as we all know, as bankers, in order, or any financial institution for that matter, in order for you to operate under federal regulations, you know you have to have some type of program in place that reinvests in the community. That's the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Act. I think now, and this is just my opinion, now more so than ever, banks are going to be put to the test as far as the Community Reinvestment Act goes. And as far as catering to the small business owners. And in order for us as minorities and in order for us as small businesses to take full advantage of what these banks have already been offering as a new thing, it's going to be pertinent and very, very, very imperative that we have our ducks in a row, have our business foundation, the foundation of our business model structure to a T, where we can actually have a dog in that fight, you know, or putting our dog in the race of operating on that small scale level in hopes of overall success of our business.
That the CRA, Community Reinvestment Act, that banks have to follow, that is something that it's interesting when it's always brought up, because you do often wonder, it is the communities that they reinvest in. However, a lot of these communities from where we're from growing up, you don't ever see the impact that these banks are supposed to do, but you see them move along in areas of growth and still create revenue and still be a successful bank, although they're not necessarily reinvesting into, I guess I don't know,
areas
of needed, correct, yeah, of areas that are truly in need. I completely agree with you. It never benefits what it is actually supposed to. Now that's something that, you know, we just bring to the station, and we just want to make sure that, you know, it's not the luck of the draw. It is what it is. We just have to find a way to figure out where it's going to take for that money to go. How you're going to take that same financing, how you're going to take those same communities and put something there that will invest in them, that will reinvest in them, that will give them what they need out of the community. Now, it's important to know that we might not see any change in this happening over the years. However, you're going to see more programs donate to certain causes, more minority impacts, more discipline groups, more groups of people where you have more diversity, more inclusion. You're going to see women's groups rise up. You're going to see different types of things take effect now with this business going. So by all means, this would be the time to start a business. As scary as it is, as bad as it seems, as terrible as it is, this is the time. Most businesses are built in pandemics, in recessions, in the worst situations, and they rise above.
Right.
Did you have
I think the post-pandemic years are going to be some of the best years for the small business owners. That's just me with the optimistic mindset, just believing that that it's gonna, because I was one of the ones that was saying it from the beginning when the pandemic hit. I was like, if you are a business-minded person, if you're a creative thinker, now more than ever, you can create some stuff right now. And the reason being is because, the pandemic, what PPP has shown us is that banks can actually do, for the lack of better wording, I'm trying to watch my words here. Banks can make it happen for small businesses. They can. They absolutely can. What the red line and all the red tape that was there prior to this pandemic they're not going to be able to hide behind it anymore. They're not. You know, there are going to be certain restrictions. There are going to be certain things that that they will be able to do and that they won't be able to do. However, the PPP has shown that with the right incentives for banks, with the right incentives, they can make those things happen for small businesses. However, it's going to be very, very important that small businesses have their business in order, and starting with some of their foundational work. Stop being scared that, oh my God, scared of taxes, scared of having to pay taxes. Get with you a good tax preparer, find you a good CPA, someone who knows numbers, knows the laws. Get with those individuals, because there's just no, and I say this all the time, and I say it boldly. There's just no reason why a small business should be owing tax. I'm just sorry. There's just a mismanagement of money, and it all goes back to the whole definition of what financial literacy is, and it's about making. It specifically says to be financially literate means that you know how to make an informed and effective decision with all of your financial resources. All of your financial resources. I cannot stress that enough. It's not just about money management. Money management is a small part of that. It is. It's a small part of that. However, you have to have a mindset to be able to make those informed and effective decisions with every last one of your financial resources. All of your financial resources. Not just the money management part of it. It's a small part of it. People get under the, well, I'm breaking even. I'm able to pay the bills. I'm able to do, X, Y, and Z, put a little bit back, save a little bit back, and I'm good. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. So you need to get with you. These small businesses need to get with some good finance, some good tax professionals that know the laws, that actually serve them. And that's just not out there to make a quick buck. Somebody who actually knows, who's well educated and well versed in the tax law to help those small businesses, because the resources are going to be out there. They are. The post-pandemic years, the resources are going to be there.
Well, we can go ahead and wrap up the show right there, ladies and gentlemen. Keila just closed off. She gave you her final finale, and she came in delivering it with a bang. There's no other way that we can sit here and explain or express how passionate we are about this. This is what we love to do, what we love to discuss. And as you sit here and you get more of this content, you get more of this information, know that when you get ready to open a business, just start a business, we really want to talk about, if most people, separate the EIN numbers. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. If you have an LLC, have a separate EIN number. If you have a sole prop, separate your personal and business taxes. Like she said, it doesn't make sense if many businesses are owing at the end of each year, especially after tax breaks that are given to so many different corporations. We could go on and have another episode about that. But it's important. Go get your LLCs, register with your Secretary of States, get your operating agreements going, go to your credit unions, go to your banks, and take advantage of these opportunities that we are having right now. Well, Keila, any final words besides the ones where you just delivered?
No, I'm just everything that you just said. Just those are the fundamental pieces to your business. Stop hiding behind this. And I don't want to say stop hiding, because I know people aren't hiding. It's just a big misconception. Understand this. Yes, you can operate business without all those things, but you want those things in order to take full advantage of all those financial resources that are out there to help you and aid in the success of your business.
Completely agree. Guys, that's going to do it for us here at Financial Fitness, brought to you by the Old Fashioned Health Studios. Another episode, another quality information, good facts, things here, all while getting financially fit and helping you make informed decisions. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.